I used to have no self-control and I wasted so much time because of it. And if you're watching this video, you're probably in the same place. So I'm going to cover today how I overcame my impulses. Proverbs chapter 25 verse 28. Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. This verse couldn't be more true. Blows my mind. It really speaks on how valuable a man's self-control is and the word that he keeps to others and himself. Back in the day when Bibles were written, a city whose walls weren't there was vulnerable and easy to attack, exposed to be taken over. Now God uses that imagery for a man who has no self-control. He's an easy target for the enemy. He's easy to break into if he lacks self-control, if he lacks those walls. So in today's age, if you can't control your eating, your laziness, scrolling social media, or endless excuses, it equals spiritual vulnerability. The way that I kind of think of it is how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if I'm strongly willed in having a cold shower every morning, in going to the gym, then when it comes to spirituality, I become more disciplined. I lack more. I have more control. There's this quote, if the enemy can rob your discipline, he can rob your destiny. And your destiny is the purpose that God has on your life. Galatians 5:22 verse 23 talks about how a fruit of the Spirit is self-control. It's not just discipline, it's not just willpower, it's spiritual obedience. There's a verse in Corinthians, I'm sure you've all heard it. Or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? You are not your own, for you were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body. And failing to steward your body is a spiritual issue. A spiritual compromise, not just a physical one. So you don't need more motivation, you need to surrender to Him and obey Him. Now as men, we've been called to lead, build, and serve, but undisciplined habits are going to bring you away from that. If we have the discipline, then we can embark on our journey, on our purpose. But without that discipline, we can't follow through. Let me ask you this question. How many callings were left unfulfilled because somebody was a slave to their cravings, not Christ? It's a question that you truly have to think about and ask yourself, am I giving into those cravings? Am I giving into that thing instead of giving it to Christ, instead of disciplining myself and bringing up my willpower? Your temple doesn't need to be perfect. You see these people on Instagram and you're like, I wish I had a body like them. You don't need to idolize your body, but you need to work on it. It needs to be under construction. Constantly progressing is what I aim for. I don't need to be perfect, but I want to progress every single day. Because it takes discipline, it takes those habits, it takes willpower to progress in that realm. And if I'm working on my willpower there, then my willpower is building so that in other areas of my life, I can follow through. I'm not going to fall short. I'm less likely to fall short. And guys, don't just pray for change. You have to prepare for it. So prayer isn't a substitute for obedience. Jesus prayed and then He took action on it. And all the people that you see who are in a place where they're serving God in a good manner, they've prayed and then they've taken action. God isn't a genie. He's not just going to make things happen, but you need to follow it up with action as well. Off the top of my head, there's a verse in James and it talks about let the work build a perseverance through you. So instead of praying and just hoping, pray for the work, let the work build a perseverance through you. So for me, I pray for difficult challenges so that I can build my character and then that character can then take the next step, then can build a business, then can serve more people, then can manage more clients, then can make an impact and serve God and serve His kingdom for His glory. But without the challenge, without the work that built my character, I wouldn't be able to serve His kingdom to that level. Fat loss, energy, confidence, fulfillment, they're all byproducts of alignment, not just shortcuts. If you're going to take anything out of this video, please listen to this. God won't do for you what He wants to do through you. He wants to make an impact through you. He doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. So if you think, man, I can't, I'm not disciplined enough, I'm not good enough, I'm stuck by this habit, I have these chains that I can't break free, God's gonna do the work through you. You just need to let Him in and let Him build that perseverance through you. But it's not gonna be easy. God won't do for you what He wants to do through you. Man, some practical steps. Let's go. So, what are your broken walls? The walls that you've let down. in your city that you're letting the enemy come through, what are they? Is it binge eating? Is it laziness? Is it gluttony, let's say? What is it that is holding you back? You have to identify it. It could even be shame, distraction, whatever it is, identify it. That's step one. Step two is build your walls. You can't just spawn in your walls like that and boom, they're up. You have to build them day by day. Just like training, just like muscles, they grow over time. Discipline is a muscle. It needs to be trained. You're going to fall short. You're going to have shortcomings. You're going to have hard times. But if you're consistent with it and if you keep building on top of it, it will build a stronger wall and you will build those walls. You're looking at the top of the mountain, you're like, I can't climb that. Bro, take one step at a time, one brick at a time, and you will get there. You just can't stop. Whether that's consistency in steps, protein goals, training, getting a coach, whatever it might be for you, keep that consistency. Repentance doesn't just mean feeling bad for what you did for the sin. It means rebuilding what sin tore down. What good is it if you just feel bad about what you did, but instead you build and take action and be like, no, I'm going to serve God. I'm going to serve His kingdom and build what walls were torn down. This is funny. Every time you eat with consistency and with purpose, you're worshiping with your fork. How beautiful is this, by the way, man? Come on. But what that's looked like for me over the years is starting from gaming 12 hours a day, watching certain things and not being very productive, okay? Not disciplined whatsoever. A certain step, going for more walks. I'd go for a 20-minute walk. That was all I did. But that was step one, building the first brick. Then it was going for 2 walks, 3 walks, whatever it might be. Then it became the gym. I lost the weight. Okay, now I want to build some muscle, discipline myself in that area. I started reading my Bible more. I started meditating. I started worshiping. I started leaning in more. But it was months between these things, right? So I started with walks. I mastered that. Then I started calories. Bang. Then I lost the weight. Then I started gym. And now it's at the point where I'm hitting 12K steps every day. I'm reading my Bible every day. I'm hitting my calorie goals. Now I'm training every single day. And on top of that, I'm having a cold shower first thing in the morning. That is one of the harder things for me, where it's just, you're in that moment. You really don't want to do it, but you're building that part in your brain that when hard things come, you decide to just push through. There's a part in your brain, it's called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, and every time you do something that you don't want to do, it builds and it makes it easier to do. So I was talking to a family member about this the other day, where they're like, man, I don't know how you wake up at 4 a.m. and go for a walk. Yeah, because you haven't built that muscle yet. For you, that discipline, the level of difficulty for me waking up at 4 a.m. and going to the gym, for you that would be waking up at 7 a.m. and going for a 5-minute walk. It's the same level, but I've just built so much. I've built my anterior mid-cingulate cortex so much from doing the hard things that the level of difficulty has gone down. The level of difficulty hasn't gone down, but my skill level has gone up. So they see the 4 a.m. wake up and they're like, wow, it's up here. But I've leveled up here, and my anterior mid-cingulate cortex has gotten to that level. So don't be like, wow, I wish I had their motivation. I wish I had their willpower. Work on it. I wish I had $1 million. Bro, start a business. God's will be done, right? But with discipline, with motivation and all this stuff, motivation is like a warm bath. It doesn't last. But discipline is built, and it's built day in and day out from staying on top of your things. Start small. All of my clients who are successful, we start with something that they can achieve. If we start with fasting for 3 days and it's like, wow, okay, train 7 days a week, no, not eating any food, bro, who can stick to that? That's motivation. It's like, oh, I want to do this. But you need to go for the long haul. You need to be like, okay, for the next 10 years, I can see myself doing 5,000 steps a day. And if you do 5,000 steps every day, in a year, you're going to be doing 20 or 15 even. Because you've built the habit and you're like, wow, that became much more easy. So for me, I can see myself training in the gym for the rest of my life because I enjoy it so much. The enemy doesn't fear a perfect body. He fears a man who is disciplined in his mind, body, and spirit. Who's disciplined in his walk, his word, and his temple. He fears a man who is hard to distract, hard to tempt, and hard to get lazy. Come on. So my tip for you is start building those walls again. Even if it's starting with 1 brick and working your way up, start by building those walls. The walls that got torn down. Brick by brick, day by day, spirit-led with God at the center. Don't make it about fat loss. Make it about pursuing the best version of yourself for Him. And when you have Him at the center, you can't fail. You will succeed. Proverbs 25 verse 28. Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. God bless, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.